we always use Work Wise as the sort of pinnacle of how to plan and execute a campaign. It's wonderful to work with a team that literally ticks all the boxes and provides as much insight to make our job a lot easier. At Can, we always focus on 3 communication principles, one being inclusive, reach as many of the target audience as possible, always looking for ways to save money and to get media for free, and also our comms really anything without data. And for this campaign, we're able to reach over 90% of the target audience. The heavy lifting was done by digital, with the physical and human interactions supporting alongside that. We focused on saving by using some of the media estate, the council-owned media estate, so the out-of-home emails and website there, and always focusing on that pound spent equals pound saved. And then who's the target audience going to be, where and what channels are they going to be using, and what impact that's actually going to have. So here's a little screenshot of Surrey's population by age and some of the channels those different age groups will be using. We estimated that the target audience for long-term conditions in Surrey was around about 170,000, with the unemployed audience being about 34,000. And then we started gathering all the insight. So we got all the data that CJ covered off from all the different voluntary organisations. We used some of the Orlo social media listening search insight, and also then looking at paid search, so on Google and Bing, what people in Surrey are actually searching for associated to the campaign. We looked at all the information on the landing pages, had a deep dive into the audiences, looked at a lot of the previous campaigns that were quite similar that would run either in Surrey or further afield. And then that kind of helped us influence the sort of creative and messaging that was going to be running. We then took a bit of a deep dive into the various social media channels, the audience building platforms and AI tools that we used for campaigns to kind of see which are going to be most relevant for the audiences that we're going to go after. That helped us sort of ignore some of the channels that didn't kind of reach the targeting capabilities or the sort of size of the audience in the location that we needed to go after, and they had quite high sort of cost per clicks on there. It also got to get rid of some of the bigger awareness channels because the targeting is always quite low on there. The measurability is little to none. It's quite highly wasteful, and the cost per outcome is always high, so it would have basically given us fewer outcomes per budget. Then that gave us a sort of amplification mix. So it was like I said, the council-owned channel, so the out-of-home web and newsletter, and then alongside a few various Google platforms with Meta and Snapchat alongside there too. Plugged all of that together into an easy, manageable plan to send over to the team with the basic strategies that we're going to be covering off. And that gave us the sort of awareness channels that we'd be running, so the council-owned channels, as well as sort of Google awareness and the social media platforms. Then a bit further down that consideration will be people searching on Google and Bing for any keywords and phrases associated with the Work Wise campaign, and then the remarketing side of things for people that have visited the website. So if you ever look at a pair of shoes online before and they follow you around the internet for the rest of your life, it's that horrible technology, but used in a good way. And then we started having a look at the user experience, and we focus quite heavily on there because it can make a massive difference to your sort of conversion percentage of users that have gone through to the landing page. And it was very text heavy, I think you remember, CJ. So that we basically quite quickly turned around a really basic inclusive landing page with the wonderful Work Wise video in there and a really easy to use inquiry form at the bottom. And what we're then able to do is get all of that data back. So provide CSV files for all the inquiry data, break that down by day, break all the different platform data back, broken down by day, plug it all into a Looker Studio, and then we start to correlate campaign activity against campaign submissions, and we can sort of cut out bits of the campaign that wasn't performing well and move that money into sort of strategies that were delivering more outcomes. And then what that gave was the CJ and the team visibility over everything that was running, and you can start to see the optimizations that come into play. So with the blue line being interactions, the orange line being submissions, as it starts, the sort of cost per outcome sitting at a base level, but over time, as the optimizations are implemented, that blue line starts to decrease. So overall, the cost per outcomes start to work its way down, which is what we're here to try and do at the end of the day. And so, yeah, some of the optimizations that the team work behind the scenes, so performance-based, so based on the different platforms and how they're converting into a sort of cost per outcome. It could be certain creatives are performing well to certain audiences compared to others, so they'll get upweighted. It could be by geolocation. There's a bit of human pruning going in alongside a bit of the supercomputer machine learning. And overall, that will reduce the cost per outcomes, providing CG and the team with more outcomes per pound spent, meaning we can slowly move away from stuff that doesn't work into stuff that does. And the valuation being, at the end of the day, we're able to report back with the team on pounds spent equals pounds saved, which is what everyone wants to see at the end of the day. So yeah, going back to those 3 principles, making sure you're reaching as many of your target audience as possible, always looking for ways to save and report back on pounds spent equals pounds saved, and ensuring that you got full transparency over the data for all the platforms that you're using, and looking at all the campaigns that you're planning in the future. If you're not confident you're going to be able to hit any of those 3 metrics, feel free to drop me a little line and we can have a chat.